Namaste, Guruji. Thank you so much
Namaste.
for talking to us today. So, the introduction, I would want you to give your own introduction because, in your way, for people who are not spiritually inclined already, and we want more and more people to understand the effect and the magnanimity of spirituality. So, who is Guru Pashupati for them, for people who already don't know about you?
Yeah, so the thing about being spiritual, which I realized when I was a kid, is that you have to care about other people. It is not about you being selfish or you being selfless. That's not okay. Because if you're selfless, you'll become unsustainable. And if you're selfish, you will just cause destruction in the world. So we need a new word, and that word is symbiosis. I got it from nature. And I realized this, I was 4 years old, but I didn't know what to do. Then from the age of 8, because this was on my mind, I was always thinking about it. I was like, why are people so mean and rude to each other? Because I had a lot of stammering when I was a kid. And it miraculously went away when my guru just touched me on my forehead. When he gave me Diksha, after that, I don't have stammering. So this is what used to happen. And, at the age of 8, Kali started showing up at my bed. Now, the Western psychologists will say this is schizophrenia. But for me, it was real. So she told me, come with me. So I said, okay, I'll go with her. And she took care of it that my parents never wake up. And she took me to the graveyard. There was uh, a graveyard near my house. And there were people there. And they were so happy to see me. And they started to do my puja, saying, Batuk Bhairavaya. And I used to go there. I was a kid. I went there for 4 years. And then at the end of those 4 years, I met my guru.
Mm-hmm.
Mahaavtar Babaji. But he didn't come in the form of Mahaavtar Babaji. He came in a
Mm-hmm.
very different form.
Uh-huh.
He came as a watchman and he came to teach me self defense because I had started empowering myself thinking I'm Hanuman. And
Yeah.
everybody who teased me about my stammering, they would get two whacks, boom, boom. And then they brought
Uh,
all their elder brothers, and the elder brothers shifted their cricket playing ground to front of my house. And so I couldn't enter my house after school because they would hit me with the bat. And
oh.
they would throw the ball at me or hit me with the bat. So I just couldn't get in from the front door. So I said, I'm Hanuman. And I would climb up from my neighbor's, from my neighbor's house and jump into my
Mhm.
house.
Oh
And I
wow.
did that for some time. And I said, this is not what Hanuman would do. Hanuman would go and face it. So I said, okay. And I went and I faced it. And on that day, they really beat me black and blue because they were 18-year-old kids and I was just 11. No, I think I was 12. I was 12. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then after a long time of beating me, they threw me inside the gutter. And then a cow came and shat fresh cow dung. And they got an idea, why not put my face in the cow dung? So they took my face and rubbed it in the cow dung. Then I got cuts all over my face. I've already bruised black and blue from a lot of hits. And then they asked me to take the cow dung and smear my own face with it. And I did it. I had no choice. Otherwise, they were hitting me and they even had knives and I didn't know what to do. Hanuman got defeated. So I was a little upset with God. I said,
Mm-hmm.
Shiva is supposed to be the ultimate God. And you have watched all this shit happen. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
go to anyone for help. I didn't cry to my father. I didn't do anything. But I said, I'll handle it myself. You didn't give me the strength. I realize I don't know how to handle so many people in a fight. Can you please teach me? Can you send someone to teach me? I'll learn even now and I'll believe that you exist. But if you don't send me someone now, I'm going to become an atheist. That's what I told him. And
Mm-hmm.
then my guru came and he taught me how to fight. People want to know what's the proof I met Mahathar Babaji, they should see me
Yeah.
fight. I've trained the Marcos, the Marine commandos in Krav Maga. I've trained the Karnataka police in close quarters combat. And I've trained the Tamil Nadu police in our ancient arts of Varmakalai.
Mhm.
This is all that I've done, and then I've won countless tournaments. And people started getting interested in mixed martial arts because of a blog that I have written, that I used to write. And I had to take the blog down so that other people in Bangalore can get students, other martial artists. When I stopped teaching martial arts in Bangalore, I took it down. Okay. So that's been my
Mhm.
accomplishment. And I've trained 200 million girls in self defense. No, sorry, no, not 200 million, 20 million girls. That's still a lot.
20 million. Yeah, it is a lot.
Yeah. This I've not done alone. I've done with a team, symbiotically. I've made it work. And
Mhm.
my NGO got shut down during COVID because one of the corporate sponsors to whom we used to go with the begging bowl said, we can't give you money anymore because COVID. And
Yeah.
then 1 million kids didn't get their education that I was giving, the real education. Inside the Thames Nadi, I was giving real education. And I said, we have to do this differently. So around COVID 2020, I said, that's it. I'm not doing work like this. I'm going to teach people. And then it was a really hard journey to find out how to be popular on the internet and get people to learn from me. And it took like 4 years for my team and I to get here. We got our first YouTube button uh,
Oh, nice.
recently. And I was like, how do I get to people? And what is the problem that I'm solving here in this world? Why did mahaavatar Babaji send me back? There are 4 stages that a person goes through:
Mhm.
brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha, and then
Mhm.
sannyasa, where he comes back to teach. This is
Mhm.
the journey recommended by the Vedas.
Yes.
Brahmacharya, you learn the Vedas. Grihastha, you stay in a house and you live in society.
Mhm.
It's not necessary that you have to be married to be a grihastha. And
Wow.
that's when you learn how to handle the dangers that come within society
Mhm.
and not get influenced yourself. And then you still don't have the power to teach people. You go to the forest and you live there for several years, taking caves and trees as shelter, no house, open to all the uh, violence of nature. That's
Mhm.
the only way to put it. Nature is very violent.
Yes.
And you have to learn how to survive that. When you learn how to survive that, you bring all of that energy. And that's when you really learn symbiosis, when you live by yourself in the forest. Okay. I
Mhm.
didn't, in some places I had to live by myself. In some places I lived with other yogis. So I've been in the forests of Tamil Nadu, of Kerala, Karnataka, and Himachal, Uttarakhand, Nepal, Sikkim. Uh, I even went to Nagaland, and I've been in the desert of Rajasthan as well. So having lived in all these places, then I came back to teach. But when I came back to teach, I didn't know how to teach, and I actually lost interest. I saw people and I said, I just can't teach. It's too difficult. My enemy, whoever's poisoning their minds, is too
Mhm.
tough. And I lost hope. And I just started drinking. So from 2015, when I was back from all this, 2014, I think,
Mhm.
and then from 2014 till 2020, 6 years, all I did was and think, drink and think, and that's all. And then it affected my health very badly, and I became a big patient. Then I had to learn about health. Then I realized, man, if you want to learn about wellness, you want to teach people about wellness, you have to make them feel well in their body. It
Mhm.
all starts with the body. So I had to learn how to teach because how I was taught is not how these people are learning because I was smart.
Mhm.
And you tell me once it's enough because I'm sincere. I wake up at 3:30 even today and I do my sadhana. But people are not in that discipline anymore. They don't know that the word disciple comes from the word discipline,
Mm.
or maybe vice versa. They're
Mm.
related words.
Yeah.
You have to have discipline if you're going to learn. People don't have discipline. And they're okay with all half baked knowledge, which is being thrown out in plenty by a lot of gurus today who are very popular. And they just keep swallowing that shit and thinking that it's the real Amrit. That's not the real nectar
Mhm.
of spirituality.
Mhm.
So it took me a long time to figure it out that a person has to see themselves as divine. Because I always saw myself as divine. I saw myself as Hanuman, even when I was a kid. And
Mm.
even now I see myself as Bhairav. I've upgraded. And
Up.
Hanuman, the Panchmukhi Hanuman, is the form of Bhairav. So I will look, I will speak, I will smell, I will taste, and if you touch me also, it will be like Bhairav. Every sense and experience people can have of me will be of Bhairav, is what I have decided. And I'm going to behave in that way. And I'm fearless about anything, because I don't care. I ask, what would Bhairav do? And because of that, sitting on my timeline, we have something called an itihasa, which is our history, and we have karma, which is our future.
Mm-hmm.
People are not aware of both. They're not aware of their karma. They're not aware of their itihasa. What karmas are ripening to
Mm-hmm.
create their future? They don't know, and they don't know what history they're coming from. For most people, the history is that they were born in 1947, and
Yeah.
this country was a slave for 200 years. And
Yes.
after that, we are trying to find our legs. Is what most people think about society. Yes, we have culture. There was an ancient culture. We don't know anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
This is everyone's history. And their personal history is full of this history of suppression by the British turned into the British education system, which I call Thames Nadi education. And the
Mm-hmm.
Thames Nadi education is still going on. And people are just reeling under its impacts. They're not able to enjoy themselves at all in this life. They're not even able to smile. That's the state of people after this education, because they make you feel like shit. They do it over and over again till you just feel like, I don't know anything. They beat that into you. A child
Mm-hmm.
is born knowing intuitively. They kill your intuition, they kill your creativity. And then you're a sorry human being after that, which is really, really sad. And I can't see it. It brings tears to my eyes. So I say, I'm not going to let this happen. I want to see what will happen if human beings were natural, just like the nature I lived in for 7 years. Can this be like that?
Yeah.
Can the human beings be like that? And they can. Of course they can.
Yeah.
I'm doing my experiments with it. I'm succeeding partially. I'm working right now with 800 students and I'm trying to make it happen. This is also an NGO, what I'm running. I'm not doing anything for profit because I don't need money. I can live in
Mm.
the forest, but without it, I haven't seen money for the years I was in the forest. I don't even know what it is. So I'm not dependent on money. I don't need to make a financial success out of it, but I do because
Divine.
the method of teaching that I've adopted is on the internet.
Mm.
And I want people to learn from there because the fortune of having the internet is that when I say something, you can rewind it and see again.
Yes.
But when my guru said something, I had to remember it. I had to take it into myself. I had to take it into my real soul. But now with God, this you can rewind and you can keep learning lesson by lesson. You don't have to
Yeah.
progress to the next lesson unless you got this one. And the first
Yeah.
lesson that I'm now teaching people is that you need to be divine. You need to have a divine itihasa, which means you take your divine swamurti or your divine self-image and you put that in all what you call your itihasa. Everybody's got an itihasa of failure, which is why they feel no good. The same study makes it really hard for you to succeed. And so does Bollywood. And so does the media and news. Yeah, so I put them all together, TBMN. Thames Nadi, Bollywood, media, and news. And then I got this character called TB Aman, who is
Team.
going to be the subject of my future videos. So I needed to make a character who I'm fighting. Who am I fighting? TBM man. That's what I'm fighting. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
And you really need to know this runs so deep. People don't have imagine. They don't know the value of their imagination. They
Yeah.
don't know the value of the subtle parts of their mind. They don't know the value of their thoughts, their feelings, and emotions. They just exist without knowing any of this, without actually experiencing yourself as a human being. And they lose their physical health before they become 50. And they're so
Yeah.
miserable.
Yes.
So my guru is 2,700 years old. Dying is optional. If you have the karma of immortality, you can live for immortality. But do you want to learn how to change your karma? No. People don't even think it's possible. They're like, what are you talking about? There's no karma. It's just random shit. There was the Big Bang and all these things came out. That's what Timsai teaches you. That
Mm-hmm.
the universe has nothing to do with you. And if you were gone, then the universe would go on.
Mm-hmm.
But
Definitely.
what I learned in the Vedas is that we create the universe. We are that important. And then they'll say, oh, that's just exaggerated megalomania on the part of the Hindus. But it's not. It's the truth. You create the universe. You're here to play a game. Everyone is here with a certain form, and that form is suited only for a certain purpose. The branch
Mhm.
of the tree has a certain form because it's suited for that purpose of extending the leaves out. The leaves
Yeah.
have a particular form because they have to be like solar panels to catch the sunlight, right?
Right.
Our solar panels are basically leaves. So everything has a form. An aeroplane has a form of a bird. That's why it can fly.
Mhm.
Form actually follows function. So function comes first, which is basically your purpose in life.
Mhm.
And you can't know your purpose in life, but you can know your form. When you know your itihasa and you create a proper form, a divine form, then your purpose becomes clearer.